Hi guys, how's it going? How's everybody? Um, okay, so we uh, did some sort of basic um, collaging, sort of just a start on a bunch of tags. Well, I guess I don't know if they're tags, but journaling cards. These are just cards that are postcards that I glued just some book paper on, and then in I think my just previous video, um, well, before the live stream auction, we just kind of did some basic collaging just with book paper, and then added a few pieces of tape. Okay, so just a layer of book paper, added a few other, torn pieces of book paper, just kind of working with like some texture and tone, um, that kind of thing. Different like colors of book paper, really. But also, I think what that did was add some elements of different pattern and a little bit of color with the tape, and used a little bit of ink on some of the pieces just to sort of add a little bit of depth and to kind of set them apart from each other a little bit, to add a little bit of contrast. Um, I had some other ones that I had done that I just kind of got them all up sort of to the same point, right? So this is really kind of how I work most of the time, where, I like to do multiples, and for different reasons. One of those reasons is that it just kind of helps me not get bogged down into like, um, focusing on, okay, I have to make this tag, it kind of opens your head, I think, a little bit when you're working on multiples of a similar thing. Like, and that's a lot of the reason why I do a number of journals at one time. So anyways, I had a few people comment that they would like to see some of these, um, finished. And so I thought, okay, we can do that. Really, most of the work is done in my mind. Um, I like to, come in and add some kind of focal point, maybe some little hints of color, maybe some dramatic color or something like that. Um, for the most part, I will, once I get them to where, I'm happy with the finished product. Okay, so like this one, I would say that one's done. Um, there's a few others here. Let's see, I'm trying to work with just the ones that are on book paper. So like this one, I would call it done. I just basically added some coffee dyed book paper that is like this botanical encyclopedia. This one, I added a little piece of like from an envelope, some postage, and some like textured kind of paper here. I guess that's under the tape, but and then a torn little branch, a little, some flowers. And then this one, I just added this little image with some bugs and a flower and a postage stamp. Oh, and then this little strip of paper. Okay, we won't talk about this one. I don't want to get too far ahead. This is one that I had done before I did the, started working on just the collage with you guys, where basically I just attached an image of some flowers and a little butterfly and a little like flashcard type of thing. And so those will get just stitched. I'll just take them all to my sewing machine and stitch around the edges. Some of them I might actually trim the corners, put a hole in them somehow, and then add like some fabric or some lace or something like that. But for the most part, those are done. So these, you know, sometimes with the tape, you know, I usually do use tape on most of my tags and stuff, or for collages. But you know, sometimes I'll add a little bit more later or whatever. It just kind of depends on, you know, where it winds up. So I have some images that I've picked out that I felt like I wanted to use, and some of them are just some of my old family pictures that I've scanned, and I just stitched around the borders. And you know, I don't necessarily have to use all of them, but I wanted to have some where I had stitched around the edges before I started making the video. So I didn't have to pull my machine out and do that, you know. So I just wanted to have some options. And then these are just some little images that are, these are from some greeting cards that I fussy cut around the edges, and I just did some stitching on those. And then some other images that are some open source, or I guess it's not really called open source, public domain images. Did some stitching on those. Some of them are book pages that I tore images out of, and that kind of stuff. So, so really, a lot of these, I would say, you know, basically just attaching some kind of image somewhere on it would really pull it together. Some other stuff that I like to use, obviously, postage. I love using postage, and my favorite are the stamps that are still on the paper, you know. Well, I love the security envelopes. I love the patterns on those. So that's something that's really fun to use. And then just, you know, just scraps of, you know, pages from books too. But a lot of postage. I don't know how that got in there. Anyways, and wallpaper. Wallpaper is really fun to use. It's lots of cool patterns and stuff. So yeah, so postage, I like to kind of have that on hand. I like to have some images. I like to have just different types of textural papers, you know, that I can use pieces of. So I usually have just a stack of that handy. And then, I know, see, this is why it sometimes gets overwhelming, because sometimes there's just too many options. And then this box is basically just my kind of like, I don't know, like heavier papers. There's some cardstock in here. This is kind of like my cluster box, actually, like when I'm working on making paper clusters. So a lot of this stuff, it was, you know, sort of stuck in here for that reason. But lately I've been using it, trying to, you know, use it up. And then another thing that's kind of fun to use, I think, for like focal point or focal, you know, interest, are those waterslide decals. They're really cool because they're transparent, and I don't know, they glue down real easily, and they're easy to use. And I came across a huge stash of them, so I'm trying to use these. And these are just some stickers of airplanes. And then I also have a bunch of other like floral images out of books that I've torn out in here, and then some stickers and things like that. So this is one box of, you know, like focal point images, I guess. And then I know, it's crazy. See, this is why sometimes I have to just clear my desk and you know, go back to basics. This is just some other, like this stuff should actually be in there. Same type of stuff. And then I also have lots of fussy cut images that I like to kind of have handy for embellishing tags and book pages, and you know, actually like in journals and things like that. So I just have lots of birds and flowers, and lots of birds and flowers mostly, and sort of like different sizes, you know. So some of them are like fussy cut all the way up to the image, right? And then some are more like just the border of the, you know, like kind of like that, where it's just like, I guess they call it kiss cut or something. So yeah, so I just like to have a lot of that. I just like to have a lot of those kind of things available. I also have a bunch of like tags or not tags, labels that are just from all kinds of different places. I've got a bunch of Tracy Fox's little labels in here. I purchased another set of labels. Well, these are from Rachel from Roxy Creations. Some of these. And then also I got this set of labels. I can't remember the shop that they came from, but I'll try to find it and put it in the description. But I love these. Lots of different, just real simple kind of like labels. And then there's some Denison labels. So yeah, so labels. And what else am I working with? This is just like some ephemera from like an insurance payment booklet. Some more labels and stickers. And then one of my absolute favorite things to use on tags are sort of oversized images. And I like to just use like a part of the flower or a part of the bird or whatever. So this is all like oversized like flowers. So okay, so now that I've kind of gone through all the options that I've got kind of set out, let's see what we can do with some of these. So this one, I'm feeling like it's a little bit busy, and in order for me to kind of pull it together, I feel like I need to cover up a good portion of it, right? So basically what I'm thinking is just to take a piece of, this is just like a flyleaf page from a Reader's Digest. So I just want to take a piece of that, and I'm going to ink around the edges of it. Kind of give it its own little like space, you know. And I'm not going to stress about the fact that, you know, I spent time putting all of this stuff on here and, oh, I'm covering it up or whatever. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's there, but, you know, the end result is more what I'm worried about, you know. So I'm just going to glue that on here, right down in the corner. And this is kind of thick paper, so, you know, I needed my baby wipe. Sorry that took me so long to sort of get going, you guys. I just felt like I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I had out here, you know, what my options were. So, take a piece of paper, sort of cover it up, and then, I really want to use one of these pictures. So this is actually a picture of my dad, but I don't really like the way that I don't like the tone, like it's kind of getting lost in there, you know? So that may not be the right one. Maybe a butterfly? No, I think I want some brighter color in here. So, no, see, it's just a matter of kind of trying things out too. So let's try one of these and see how it works out. When you're using those water slide decals, you need to have something to kind of dry them off. So basically, to use those, you just you cut them apart, and then I have no idea what that is. You just want to soak them in a little bowl of water until the paper is kind of like saturated, and then so I usually have like a few of them sort of soaking in here, and yeah, there we go. So see, it just kind of slides off. Whoops, see, I ripped it, but no big deal. It's like on plastic or something. It's these are intended to be used on like ceramics, like when you're doing yeah, like for bowls and cups and things like that. So I'm just gonna stick it on there. I think it's cool. I like that. Put my glue on the paper instead of, or on the base instead of on the decal. And yeah, so I like that. And then I feel like I just want to add maybe like a little tag or something, or a little ticket or a label maybe. Don't want to cover up too much of it, and I love these Denison labels, so I think that's going to work. I'm just going to ink around the edges of it just because I don't really like the white around the border. And then I'm thinking I could do just a little strip of fabric on there too, just to kind of give it a little bit more texture. And I'm going to use the Scotch Create glue to attach this because it rocks. It really does. So on there, I could add another little layer of something like, I don't know, like a little flower maybe? Something like that. See, it takes, I don't know, it takes time to kind of loosen up and kind of get into the groove of it, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to worry about doing it. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to wait and come back and see how I feel about this tag after I get a few more done. So let's see. So this one, I've got this kind of teal green color going on, and I don't know if I necessarily have to keep that or not, but I'm loving this coffee dyed grid paper. I love how the ink sort of runs a little bit when it gets wet. I was hoping I had another piece. Yeah, here we go. No. Where is it? Oh, well, I don't have much left, apparently. I just wanted a little bit bigger piece. So I'm not going to worry about inking this. I don't know, it doesn't really bother me the way it sort of blends in with the background. And then maybe like some kind of fabric on there too. I don't know if this video is even gonna make the cut, you guys. Seriously. I have no idea. It's hard to talk about your thought process with this kind of stuff, you know? It's like, you know, trying to explain why you're doing something is completely different than just doing it, right? Plus, I've been having all these computer issues, and that has been super stressful the last couple days. I keep pulling out this little piece of this envelope that has an address on it. And I almost want to just stick it on here for some reason. I think I'm gonna. I don't know. It's an old envelope. So, if whoever that guy is starts getting mail from people he doesn't know, I'm sorry. Okay, so now, see, I've covered up almost the whole entire tag now. Everything that I put on there before. But that's okay. I don't care. So I'm going to put this little picture of my grandma and some of her friends. I like that. But before I do that, I want to add something right here. Just to add a little bit of texture. Yep. So I think part of the thing with doing that preliminary like collage on the base to begin with was, you know, part of that is to just sort of get over that sort of that white blank space issue, right? You know, like a lot of artists have a hard time with like a white paper, you know. So, yeah, so I mean, that's part of it. And to just kind of sort of mess it up so that it's not like perfect and pristine anymore. So, all right, so we've got 2 down, almost done. They're almost done. And this one I was kind of orienting in a landscape sort of way. So let's see. Sometimes all it needs, really, in my opinion, is some kind of just like a flower or something, you know? Yeah, just something simple. I want to add something behind that just to give it a little bit of like depth, you know? Let's see. See what happens with this green paper. Whoops, sorry guys. Didn't realize I was so far down the table. Nope, I don't like the green paper. Oh, I know. I'm just going to use a piece of this paper bag. There we go. Yep. That's going to do it. Yeah, so I got this desktop computer that my son gave me. Only problem is that it doesn't like staying connected to the internet. You know, the thing about a desktop is that they're built mostly to be hardwired into your modem or whatever. And, you know, so you have to use an adapter. Is that upside down? It is upside down. That's why it's looking weird to me. There we go. It was not even, it was looking super weird. And then, you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit of like cheesecloth or something like that on here. Where is that? Just a second. Sorry, guys. There we go. So this is cheesecloth that is really finely woven. And I love it because it's very, very much like the gauze. Like the, I had a whole bunch of this like old gauze bandage that I've used up, and I was kind of bummed when it was gone. I went through a lot of it too. I had like, I don't know, 20 rolls of it maybe. So yeah, okay, perfect. So I'm going to use the Scotch Create glue to put this down because I know that it's going to work with fabric just fine. And I'm actually turning that over. There, and then I could do some, I could add like a little butterfly, or I could add a little label, or a flower, or something like that. Let's see. How would a label look? Yep. This is one of, I can't remember what kit this came out of Tracy's. This is one of Tracy Fox's labels. I'm terrible about that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so just on a postcard. So, like I said, sometimes like just a flower is what is all it needs, you know? Is that one upside down too? Oh, there we go. Yep, I like that. So anyways, yeah, the computer is frustrating me now because it has this like Wi-Fi adapter that plugs in the back of the computer, and I don't know, but for some reason it keeps losing connectivity, and so I'm feeling like I need to move my modem now, like maybe put the modem downstairs. It's upstairs in the house, and I don't really want to do that, but so I think this needs some kind of something else. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think this is one of Tracy's too. See, I just cut them all up and stick them in a container, and I can't remember where this stuff comes from sometimes. But I think this is one of Tracy Fox's. There. I like it. So, I mean, you know, I'm kind of tight, kind of like, you know, not really. I'm going to take a couple more of these little flowers and these little water decals and put them in the water so that they're kind of like ready to go. I think that'll help. Yeah, so just get those kind of soaking over here. Some of this paper, you know, that's really brittle, that comes out of these super old books. It's nice to use on this kind of stuff. Just, I don't know, it's always a neat texture and stuff, you know. I think, yeah, I'm gonna put it right there. You know, like if it's too brittle to, okay, this glue is making me super mad right now. There. Like if it's too brittle to use in a signature in your journal or whatever, because it'll break, you can still use it like this. See, maybe one of these little flowers. Let me go like that. Okay, don't forget, you're up here, Jessica. Nope, I don't like that one. Ooh, how about this tulip? Yeah. I'm going to ink around the edges of this though. The other thing I like to do sometimes, and I made up a whole bunch of these, I don't know, a few days ago. These little paper ruffles, you know, made out of different kinds of paper. Actually, bad idea, Jessica. Okay, I'm just gonna put glue on here and then stick it on there. There. There, adds a little bit of texture. I don't know, I don't like to use things that are super dimensional on things that are going in my journals because, you know, I want to be able to add more stuff. And I think we should go horizontal on this one too. So I guess this is just kind of a craft with me sort of thing, right? Sort of getting used to doing that. It's not something that I've done much in the past. So I don't know if I would say this is a tutorial necessarily, but it's kind of just my process, I guess. Starting to feel a little bit better, like starting to feel more relaxed, more kind of spontaneous in finishing these up, you know? Oh, those are way too big. Oh, you know what? Postage. Let's grab a stamp or something. Oh, I kind of like that wallpaper right there. Once again, so many options. kind of like it. Going that way. Let's do, I want to do a bird. Let's put a bird on it. Yeah, I like that bird. I think I'm going to ink him just a little bit. Just because it's a little bit bright. And then I might I was going to say I might add another little piece of fabric or something, but I think I'm actually going to do, yeah, I'm just going to do this strip of a paper ruffle. And this could be a pocket or, you know, a journaling card just kind of stuck in sideways or whatever. Yeah. So there's that guy. See, just keep working through them. One thing I really do love to do is just to take like a piece of a flower, you know, just like half of an image, and I'll just cut it like that. Stick it on there. Just line it up with the edge really well, you know. Yeah. And then maybe like a piece of lace or something over there. Or a piece of fabric, or hold on, got stuff on the floor over here. I'm gonna glue this down, but it's also gonna get stitched. It's also gonna get stitched in, because I'm gonna go around the border of this. So yeah, I like it just like that. Easy peasy. And then, I mean, heck, I could just take the other half of that flower and use it on a different one. Like right there. I know you guys, I keep going off screen. And it's because I'm zoomed in a little bit and I keep forgetting. And then I might as well, hang on. Have this like rice paper. It has kind of like this metallic sort of stuff in it, and I think it's really pretty. Put some of that on here. And then might as well add this other little paper ruffle, but I need something under it first. A little piece of lace. So when I'm gluing fabric or fabric-like things or things that are thicker or whatever, I like to use this glue because it is gonna stick for sure. And this one could even use like a little button or something like that on it, maybe. I don't know. I might add a little flower on there or some other kind of embellishment, you know, I don't know. But I like that one too. So let's see. I do want to use some of these images. So I was thinking I could use one of these as like a frame for one of these pictures, you know? I think that would be kind of pretty. Yeah. First I'm going to ink the image a little bit. Table's getting gluey. And then I'm going to find a piece of fabric to put on there. Needs more. Nope. Yeah, a little piece of this too. I was gonna just try to do these without any like fabric or anything like that, but I don't know. I mean, I use that stuff a lot, so I thought, you know, I might as well. So I can also come back and add like a word on these or something like that too, just to give it a little bit more interest or whatever. Haven't really been doing that a lot lately for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, so I kind of like that. It's pretty. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going. And then, oh, you know what? I better do these because they're over here soaking away. Where's my towel? This is some paper from some kind of like, I don't know, is this old? I don't remember what it was. It was old. It was like some packaging, like a wrapper from some candy or something like that. Oops. Adding a little piece of that rice paper. I know I'm probably talking super quiet, huh, you guys? Yeah, see, these are just like, no, they're like plastic. It's kind of weird. I like them though. They stick really well. So that's pretty basic. Let's do like a little, maybe like a little ticket and a label. And some kind of label. Have these old, no. No, no, no. Oh, wait, I'm gonna ink this. Here. Perfect. Okay, guys. I think I think you get the idea. Um, you know, at this point, it's kind of, it's like, yeah, pull out all your options, you know. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was going to do this. Well, maybe I'll do that in another video. I'll do a different one. I want to do some collaging, like, over an image. And just kind of show you guys how I approach that. I don't know. I mean, it's not really that different, but it is a little bit. The way that that kind of works, you know, it's a little bit different. So, you know, I thought I would talk about that a little bit too, because, yeah, because it's a thing. Just saying. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. You know, we did quite a few of these. So basically at this point with these, you know, I'm going to trim them up a little bit around the edges. Okay. And then I will probably round the corners. Some of them are going to be, hang on a second. Been using this little guy. Whoops. Where's the other one? Where'd you go? Oh well. That one's too big. I can't use that one. My chomper thing is getting, I don't know, it's getting old. Okay, so around the edges, I'll ink them up. I should have said around the corners and ink the edges. And then I'm going to do just a straight stitch around the border a couple times and call it good. Well, you know, I might add like a piece of lace or something, or a piece of like seam binding. Actually, yeah, I don't want to pull my sewing machine out right now to do that, but you guys get the idea. I love this punch. It does like a little slot, you know, so you can put, see, so you can put a piece of fabric through there a little bit easier, easier than a hole. So yeah, so I'll do some stitching and inking, and they're done. So these could be pockets, these could be just journaling cards. You know what? I could even cut these up a little bit more. Like I could cut these again and make them into smaller little cards if I want to. You know, like this one I could cut, I don't know, like I could cut it right there, or, you know, they still can be used for different things. But, yeah, I like this one. That's my grandma right there. Anywho. Alright, you guys. So, I know this wasn't like super exciting or anything, but, I don't know, maybe it was helpful to just kind of watch me work through some finishing of the tags. So, okay guys, I love you. Take care. Bye.